I wrote Valdis a note, and I thought I would read it, and that's what I was going to present today. It's something to do with the star rock idea, which is that long ago on the planet, we had a great event where the star rock legends lived in the stone rocked earth, and they were connected with all life and had that vibrational frequencies and communications within the vibrations of the world. And so it's just an idea that these beings were the star rock people, and or I should say the earth people, or whatever term. I call them the star rock painters also, or the natives, and so forth. So I had this, I created this story, which included the Wildstock Concert for Life, or the Grand Rock Canyon, Star Rock legends playing for the rock ruler of the world. And it's fun and all that. And their idea was to save the world. At least it was given to the heroine, whose name was Flava Balkana. And she went on her vision quest and met with the new guide, Fubiquance, and had the visions and what have you, and came back to New Rock City to create this event of gathering and putting everyone in that high vibration to prevent the Star Rock crash, which didn't work. Although it was a great, a try and event, where they sent out this great vibration across the universe. And this was before our time, before the time of humanity, but what occurs is that the star rock, which is, let's say, the meteor and the extinction event, actually brings the water of life, or the living water, and the souls of the now deceased or stoned rock people are placed into the souls' bodies, souls in bodies, whatever way we want to talk about it, and started this whole cycle of the humanity. And the as maybe much more than that, but I'm just going to say that. Regenerating the planet for new forms of life, and that has led up to the current time, say 50,000 to 500,000 years ago, and in the time frame. So I shared this with Val as an idea, or here sometimes, and it's a story. I call it the Star Rock History, ISTORY, and I'm going to try and limit my time to about 10 minutes, Val. So I think that sounds pretty good. I think I can do that generally.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah.
So today I'm feeling better. I wasn't so good. I had kind of an infection. And so I'm better now. It's interesting. I talked about that too, how I dealt with it. And so I wrote to you or us. There are various, I'm watching all the distractions that come in every time I begin to do the real channel, which is just what happened. Exactly at the moment we got on here. It could have been any other time in the hour or 2 hours, but right at this moment, and everybody thinks that I'm being hostile, It's just because you can either be going in one direction or you can be going in another. And there isn't any way to go in two directions at the same time. So I said, I could call it the Star Rock Legend and the Wildstock Concert for Life. I just watched the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Awards. 7 inductees, maybe there were 8, and very good showcase lineup with some enlightened folks and humanitarian, even as they're presented in the human context with its tribulations. Peter Frampton was my namesake sidekick who said, kindness is something like the one law. And he read a lot, and his guitar was his go-to place, very similarly with me. They also had Dionne Warwick, Walk On By, and What the World Needs Now is Love, music. Black African-American vocalist and a beautiful soul person. There was also a tribe called Quest 2000, which is a Black freedom to be with heart and not violence. And I didn't know about them, but they're kind of a hip-hop rap and a soul funk band. And so they were interested in diffusion of musics, and that's, I think, a very good idea. It's one of the things that many people who are successful are able to do, is to approach all people in all different ways and kinds, or bring together different sounding types instead of just stuck within this very specific framework. Dave Matthews also was there, who could have been a real leader in his generation, and I think he really is. But he chose the band and music like I drink too much, and I eat too much, and everything else. He has a huge fan base, and he's very good. Those escaping or invoking the sect, but he's in the group of those escaping or invoking the sex, drugs, and rock and roll lifestyle, and the social conditioning formula. And Cher was the last, or the other, not the last, and her opening was quite noticeable. She's quite noticeable. And also, she's kept her humility and gratitude despite all her success. And she's generally a good character. In fact, she married Greg Allman, and also Sonny, and famous for that song with Sonny and Cher, I Got You, Babe. So, but with Cher, had the love and belief attitude. It's also one of the last songs she produced. She's made music for 7 decades, and in the top each of 7 decades. It's really quite phenomenal to do. It's not enough, though, to have the love and belief attitude. And so it is a start, but it helps people become aware. Now, Ozzy Osbourne was also a very sweet man, and he was there, looked very, very dark on purpose, and generated an entire generation of Black Lord lovers and metal reptilian lizard people, Luciferian, whatever, satanic, generally actually getting the people to accept that idea without it being overblown, let's say. You know, they don't take it so fully to heart that they dive in, and at least some don't, or many of them don't. But it's like every form of music. Everyone knows it's just a form, a part of something maybe, but not the real whole. And so you're never supposed to take that so personally and so, or even socially, culturally dominated, because that's a mistake. That's how people get caught. And that is what they're caught up in, too, as a representative. But I think many of them realize, and they have the ability to have the humility or the ability of understanding it's not about them, and that they're lucky enough to be able to present something and do it well and be a representative. And that's good, and they're showing how to do that. Many of them have that attitude. They're not, all ego and self. Nonetheless, none of the 7 have the real side awareness, all isness, but mostly are in the singular human point of view. It felt like the last Star Rock and Hall of Fame show to me. So now come to the Star Rock legend and with the history of the musician Woodstock concert to save the world, which occurred both 50,000 centuries ago or whatever in the Stone Age, but also again, the birth of the human soul and the returning ever on Aegeus of Zeus, that is, they're keeping still with that, as the control matrix, alienation, body of authority, dominion, prison planet, rebirth, reincarnation, karma, leading up to more recently the current Jesus, Mohammed, Buddha, and disciples of the Lord of the Rings and the fake gods of man, or any other, let's call it the, spin doctoring, the fake gods of man, and the 2000 millennium AI crisis that we're now experiencing. So I was thinking probably between 12 and 50 years on that this crisis will come to a head. And so the Star Rock history presents this with my ideas of contact filmmakers like maybe Martin Scorsese, who loves the rock and roll 50s, 80s, and up to the 60s, years on now, and perhaps even the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame participation, but I doubt it, but I can try. And so we could do here again as a prototype, this something with Val and Kevin or whoever, and make this into a talk and a Star Rock movie or a prequel, if you will, some form of demonstration of the idea and try and get it out there. And the soundtracks included with playlists of various kinds. Beautiful music I have on that YouTube channel, the Pan Eagle Song. And so I have to show how to use the music in theater shows as a demonstration. Project 2 is the Solar Star Lottery, but Project 3 is the always the new you and new tech, which leads to becoming beyond the creation, and surely the 4th dimensions, astral, mental, and at least the best, a real bridge over troubled water. I use New You to sing an in-breath through the nose, and I also listen to the inner about what medicine treatment, like Advil or this or that. I had this sinus infection, teeth and gum disease due to not proper cleaning, so I had some antibiotics that socked it out of me, but it worked with lots of honey and silence, just within rest, but also how to listen closely to the inner guidance and new guides, and etc. So this was a practical, or what I call the living one, by the way. I keep referring to that because a reason that speaks to me really closely. So this is a practical demonstration how to always be in the new now and the same of what it is like to be the new man, that is, each of us is, so to speak, in the aware, or to keep with it. It's not personal, it's not individual, it's not a relevant reference connection, generally not of any of those individually or specifically, and is without needing to do or say or be anything. So we're in the cycle that just finishing with Mercury was in my sign Sagittarius. And this had the roughness also currently. The weather is very, very cold now. and we're probably going to get another one at the end of the month. It's supposed to go down to unnaturally low temperatures for like a week on end. So the weather has been getting more extreme on top and bottom. And the roughness was Neptune squared. And the solar universal is also in the sign with Neptune in Pisces, which has been the center sign all year. I imagine this is a real challenge for DUANE also, and as he's, I think, in the sign group, and I would think maybe he might be getting some of that. I wrote this to Val, but I'll say it too, because it's time for a change or a new view, even though also, you know, the people in society don't see, won't be changing, and the same stupid arguments about where they should or have been, like placing the President Carter's flag at half-mast for more than one day, and you know, having an argument about it. It's just, you know, this is all they've got to do, which is nothing at all, it seems like, for the most part. It's a funeral, yes, and I think it's for America, that rock is dead, and its Armageddon is upon us. The old America is dead, and its head is just Grateful Deaded, presented all over the internet and media, and they're doing quite well keeping it alive, reporting always on some past thing being redone in the present. And oh well, yeah, Jimmy Buffett was posthumously, was the last one I forgot to mention in the show. Changes in latitudes, changes in attitudes, and one too many margaritas got him too. Is DUANU, the president of DUANE, and the professional cat fun professor, Pan Eagle Song, and Iron Sign Galactician. New Star Atomus, many hats, but really I've only got two shoes. I've just got a very little bit more, Val. Okay, this new man shares the third freedom is about the economy, I call it. That is economy or economics, and E, natural aware, natural environment awareness, and a new trust, I call it, as a banking or trust funding, which is not sales or self-interest or interest loan. Cooperative, participatory, and or inclusive. It could and be as involved raising funds who, like a stockbroker, invest the funds to win the lottery and shares profits. Or second, could be a group observing the website presentation of the winning numbers or other forms of winning, because this has got to be much broader than that. But that's the idea. Provide the opportunity to win individually, but also share in building the funding, which is an open fund available to all or to the group of people who may invest, and also in doing special humanitarian, or what I call IA, opposite of AI, intelligence architectures for other cooperative or for beneficial ideas and promotions or projection, what have you. And while I was writing this, my wife started talking loudly and wanted me to pay attention. I should probably edit this comment because she wouldn't like it. But I sometimes get interrupted and my headspace loses its connection. And I know this is a mental thinking out here, but it's what I can do at the moment to express it. This happens a lot, but she said, you can just keep talking with your friends. And I said, I would talk with these people, like the ones on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, etc., but it doesn't look like they want to or allow me to. for to be one of their friends unless I am with them with their product, and or they're so blocked by all of the other attention they're getting from everybody else that it keeps them from regarding a truly altruistic presentation that comes in the true sense of the real way, and giving it all away, or being open and not restricted, is maybe the central idea there. So, thank you, Val. I was just talking with my friends here and I was writing this all out. It's very cold and windy. Sunny highs 50, low 30. But speaking of the 50s, I wrote, I was 50 years ahead of my time. I am 50 years ahead, maybe. And that's like the Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys song, I really wasn't made for these times. I think the Sagittarius universal time is about 50 years on to 70 years, and that's when the really big universal change happens here, I think. Being prepared for it well ahead, and I think many of the people alive now are going to be reborn back into that, and maybe that's what they want to do. They want to go through it that way. It's not necessary, but it happens that the alienation of solar planetary humanity becomes the universal, or connected to some network, multidimensional and galactic, that we have yet not been able to contact, or that we have not recognized and it has already been contacted. And this are all the effects of, such as in the movies and the rest of all the inferences that we've been able to watch, especially since the year I was born, 51, and Val, as part of that. So this is leading to the next part of the story, and that's something like subtitle, Jesus Returns and the Solar Armageddon, 2036 and the 3 days of darkness, or is it 3 solar years? I don't know. This is all projecting, and we don't really need to do that, because what's important is being here now in our own way and how we can be. Okay, thanks, Val. That's a lot. At least you're feeling better. It is me, and I hope you are too. Always getting better all the time.
Thank you. Yeah. Stay warm. Yeah.